Compliments of the season to all our wonderful viewers out there, and welcome to the program. I'm Melinda Akinlami. Our focus is on the North Central today, but first, our top story. The Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Fasanyama has been reacting to the military airstrike in Sokoto State that occurred on Wednesday. In a statement signed by the coordinator, Joint Media Coordination Center, Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi, the military clarifies that all its operations are conducted based on thorough intelligence. It explained that this rigorous process is really important when targeting groups like the Nasarawa terrorist organization. The Media Coordination Center of the operation insists that the targets struck in the vicinity of Gidan Sama and Rumtuwa have been linked to the Nasarawa terrorist group. The Benue State Universal Basic Education Board, monitoring the implementation of school building contracts, has threatened to recommend the revocation of work at one of the project sites in Boko for failing a structural test. The lead engineer, Mr. Eric Gowon, gave this indication after the tour of projects in Benue Northeast, popularly known as Zone A, where he said work on most of the approved projects have reached 40% completion. Other teams that supervised the contracts in Benue Northwest and Benue South gave credit to the contractors for doing a quick job with the renovations.
Contractors handling the 23 one-story building classroom blocks for Benue public schools are racing against time to deliver on their mandate. The Benue State Universal Basic Education Board has commissioned a team of engineers and architects to supervise the contractors to ensure quality control and compliance to the contract terms. In Benue East, popularly known as Zone A, majority of the work had progressed to 40% completion before the team visited the project site. Not all seems well.
You observe that there was a place I asked the contractor with their laborers to pull down a structural element that was not erected according to specification. And so that is what we'll continue to do as a monitoring team.
On the directives given by the executive chairman of the board a few weeks back, the team says majority of those involved had moved to site, but vowed to recommend termination where the terms of contract is breached.
Those contracts we threatened to revoke as of that time. Most of them have mobilized their people back to site and they are working. However, yesterday, a day before yesterday, we observed that some of them have abandoned the projects. The progress is not impressive, and so we also report back to the board. That is part of our duty to see, observe, instruct, and if the contractors have been stubborn, we'll report back to the board, we'll recommend what the board should do. And being a dynamic leader that she is, we know that she will take action about such people.
The team leading the Benue Northwest, known as Zone B, is impressed by the delivery of some of the projects.
As at the last inspection, there's a lot of improvement. Those ones that are handling renovation works, a good number of them have completed their projects, while some are at finishes level. And those handling story buildings, most of them are at decking level. That is the first suspended floor. They are doing the front work, and some have started casting. That shows that they are more serious now with their projects, so that they will deliver on time.
On her part, the team lead to Zone C, Mrs. Bilikisu Musa, commends contractors handling work across the 9 local government areas.
The assessment is encouraging because our contractors are complying. The ones in Zone C, they are doing their best, except for a few that are deviating from what we have asked them to do by trying to do 1 or 2 little substandard works here and there. But we have written them, and as we await their replies, we hope that they will be able to comply with what we have told them to do.
Governor Hyacinth Alia approved the construction of this one-story building for public primary schools across the 23 local government areas. But the Benue State Subab is determined to ensure quality delivery of the projects to avoid structural failure and its consequences.
The Kwara State government, in collaboration with the World Bank and Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project, has trained 700 out of the 1,000 extension agents and farmers to ensure food security and sufficiency in the state. During the week-long capacity training program at the National Center for Agricultural Mechanization in Ilorin, the state capital, the governor said the extension agents and farmers are capable of making an impact in the state.
This is another batch of 100 extension agents and farmers being trained by the Kwara State government on small ruminants and crop residue processing. 700 beneficiaries have now been trained out of the 1,000 people selected.
Over the past 4 or 5 days, we have gone through the use of resources that are being wasted, wells that are being wasted, that can be very, very crucial in feeding those 300 million people. These are things that we can use in promoting, in increasing the productivity of our ruminants. If we are to feed these 300 million people, crop and livestock will have to integrate. And as soon as they integrate, crop residue becomes very important.
Participants are drawn from different backgrounds and classes such as livestock and crop farmers and retired civil servants and youths from rural communities. They are expected to chart a new path for the state's agro-economy. The state government says it is delighted with the impact of its partnership with the program, which is turning its agriculture sector around.
We want to thank the governor for exemplary leadership. That's making the difference in the life of all of us in Kwara State in the last. What you represent today, all of you, is a symbol of the positive impact and difference the governor is making in the life of our people.
The new chairman of the Lower Niger River Basin Development Authority, Abdul Latif Alakawa, commends Governor Abdul Razak for the foresight in making agriculture paramount on his economic agenda.
The crop farmers and the livestock farmers' relationship ordinarily, if well managed, is supposed to be an asset. If it is not properly managed, as it has not been properly managed, that is where we have the various crises which have really had very negative effect on the issue of food security. We must appreciate His Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State, for his transcendent foresight and for seeing beyond now to see that the future of this country is agriculture, and agriculture in a way that is business.
Participants are expected to contribute their quota individually and collectively to ensure food security and sufficiency in Kwara State.
Still in Kwara State, the government has organized an enlightenment campaign on bushfire prevention in order to guard against environmental degradation, loss of lives, properties, disruption of wildlife habitat, amongst others. Speakers at the event agreed on the need to protect soil quality and avoid burning materials in the bush.
Weary of the dry season and the dangers of fire outbreaks, the Kwara State government is putting together an awareness campaign in the Kwara Central District against bush burning. The final one for the year after carrying out similar campaigns in Kwara South and North.
The reason why we are here this afternoon on the directive of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kwara State, to come and sensitize us on what adverse implications abound in us being playful with fire, naked fire during this season.
Representing the State Commissioner for Environment, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Abubakar Ayinla, explains the dangers inherent in bush burning and is asking stakeholders across the 4 local government areas within Kwara Central to guard against the destruction of properties through bush burning.
It is of essence to note that one of the major consequences of bush burning, in addition to other causes, is climate change. This year, we suffered the effects. We had droughts that set in so early at a time we were supposed to be experiencing rainfall. And this has affected crop production, it has affected the assets, in fact, it has affected the yield of those products. So it is of essence to advise us all to pay attention to the lessons and the messages that will be passed, so that the essence of the Madam Abdulrahman Abdulrazak-led administration will be well felt in the community.
Petrol, diesel, kerosene, oil.
Practical demonstrations on how to stop or prevent fire incidents is shown by the officials of the State Fire Service.
Fire resistant, fire blanket.
Because basically that we should adhere to fire safety precautions. When we want to leave our respective house, we should switch off all the electrical appliances, either in use or not. And we also urge us that wherever there is any fire incident, they should call us on time.
Meanwhile, the state government is giving out 3,000 energy-saving cooking stoves and 193 motorcycles for women and agric extension agents across the state.
His Excellency has given us the necessary package that culminated in what we are doing here today this afternoon. It is in his magnanimity that he has said, okay, the motorcycles should go to the most needful of the sectors in Kwara, and that is the agri sector. We all know that the passion of His Excellency for food security. And that is why he said this must go to extension agents that will be on the agri field in the name of Almighty God.
This is meant to enhance agricultural produce and help the women use energy-saving cooking stoves.
In Nasarawa State, the Akrizo project implementation team say they are geared up for the implementation of more impactful projects. The State Commissioner for Environment, who doubles as the chairman of the steering committee, stated this at the 2024 end-of-year retreat in Akwanga. He highlighted some of the community empowerment milestones, such as the rehabilitation and construction of solar-powered boreholes and street lights, tractors for climate-smart agriculture, amongst other initiatives.
So far, we have achieved greatly in one, community empowerment through various initiatives that have supported community interest groups, CIGs, in Benue and total local government area with $250,000 to enhance grassroots development. 2, infrastructure development has taken place with the rehabilitation of old and the provision of new solar power boreholes in select local government areas, including a school in Kogi for access to clean water, as well as solar power street lights in all the 11 wards of our Kogi local government area. The support to farmers has resulted in the provision of 10 tractors with farm implement and agricultural input to empower farmers toward their adopting climate-smart agricultural practices and boosting food production in the habit of climate resilience. Our deliberate dedication to achieving the project goal is inspired by the visionary leadership of this administration, which I most commend the project team, the traditional leadership of Benue and Akwanga, and all the line ministry in the effort to achieve the project development objectives.
Coming up on the program, the only female lawmaker in Nasarawa State empowers her constituents. We'll give you details of that and other stories. Join us again. Welcome back. We're staying in Nasarawa State, where Hajara Danyaro, the only female lawmaker there, has empowered her constituents in Nasarawa Central Constituency under an initiative tagged End of the Year Constituency Empowerment Program. The initiative, which is the 8th in the series since her election in office in 2023, involves the distribution of motorcycles, grinding machines, wrappers, and the enrollment of 200 people into the state health insurance scheme worth 30 million naira. She noted that the idea is to provide succor and impact the lives of the people.
We have done 6 categories of empowerment. First, we did the adoption of 200 vulnerable people into the Nasarawa State Health Insurance Agency. We also did a distribution of 200 wrappers to Christian women widows. We did distribution of 10 motorcycles as a rewarding system to those that play an active role, both individual and group, during our campaign. We also distribute 30 grinding machines to various groups and individuals. We also distributed 30 sewing machines to also group and individuals. And as you can see, the distribution cut across all segments. The traditional institution, the religion institution, the women group, the men group, the tribal group, all have benefited. And it's a way of me coming back to continue thanking my constituents because they have done more than expected for me during my campaign.
The Nigerian Navy ship Lugard Banda in Kogi State has offered free medical care to over 600 people in communities in Lokoja local government area. The commander of Nigerian Navy ship Lugard Banda, Commodore Tamuno Senibo, explained that the medical rhapsody is to enhance medical outcomes, promote good health and well-being. He said the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, recognizes the pivotal roles that quality health plays in the national security and sustainability of the nation.
Apart from safeguarding Nigeria's territorial waterways and the lives of citizens, the Nigerian Navy also engages in civil-military cooperation with its host communities. This engagement by the Navy is a service to humanity and a step towards achieving universal health coverage. Women, men and children converge at the open field of the LEA Primary School, Kungbani in Lokoja local government area at the request of the Nigerian Navy to receive free medical services. The commander, NNS Lugard, gives reasons for the engagement.
As the saying goes, health is wealth. Hence, the cornerstone of progress and development in any society. It improves energy, improves longevity, saves money, benefits the environment, enhances productivity and performance, and of course, prevents diseases and increases happiness. By investing in good health, we guarantee the future of our nation. So, we at the Nigerian Navy ship Lugard, under the guidance of the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral I.E. Ogala, recognize the pivotal role that good health plays in national security and sustainable development.
In his keynote address, the representative of the Kogi State Governor commends NNS Lugard for prioritizing the health of Kungbani community as he appeals to the locals to take their health care serious and seek medical advice from nearby clinics instead of using local herbs that can lead to complications.
The chief servant of Kogi State, Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododo, is in the forefront of ensuring quality healthcare service delivery to the people of Kogi State. I has, through the Ministry of Health, supported this engagement with medical consumables and drugs. I want to also use this medium to charge everyone to take his health with utmost concern and imbibe good health-seeking behavior.
Done with speeches, the Nigerian Navy distributes treated mosquito nets to all the women. Apart from the distribution of free mosquito-treated nets, medical doctors and nurses also attended to those with medical complaints. This gesture, the Navy says, is a way to show love to the less privileged, as the Navy says it will continue in the campaign of good living.
Welfare of officers, soldiers, and their families, including those that fell in the line of duty, remains a priority of the Chief of Army Staff, with assurances that all issues to foster professionalism and combat readiness of the Nigerian Army are to be upscaled. This is the message of the Chief of Army Staff at the Christmas luncheon with personnel and troops of the 3 Division and Operation Safe Haven in Jos, the Plateau State capital.
It was another gathering of personnel and troops of the 3 Division of the Nigerian Army and Joint Security Task Force, Operation Safe Haven. The occasion is the annual Chief of Army Staff Christmas Luncheon held with troops to thank them for the commitment to serving the nation.
The Chief of Army Staff.
Security chiefs in the state, alongside retired military officers and family members of the troops, were also part of the Yuletide felicitations.
Therefore, charge you all to continue to remain focused, disciplined, and loyal to constituted authority, while ensuring that we fully commit to achieving our constitutional responsibilities within a joint and multi-agency environment. Furthermore, I urge you to maintain the spirit of patriotism and continue to give your best in the discharge of your assigned duties and responsibilities.
The General Officer Commanding 3 Division and Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General Abdusalam Abubakar, urges the troops to remain focused and vigilant as the Joint Security Task Force is making significant gains in dealing with security breaches.
As we celebrate today, let us remember that our work is far from being over, as the challenges we face in the joint operations area requires continuous vigilance and dedication. Recently, we launched Operation Golden Peace, focused on clearing bandits, militias, and other criminal elements in order to facilitate a peaceful Yuletide season. The operation has led to the neutralization of notorious criminals, as well as the arrest of several miscreants, including kidnappers and gun runners, through intelligence-led operations.
The Chief of Army Staff Christmas Luncheon is an annual occasion specially organized for troops operating in various areas of operation in defense of Nigeria's territorial integrity.
Still in the spirit of the season, internally displaced persons at Ichwa IDP camp in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, have called on the federal government to improve security to enable them return to their homes. They mentioned this during the festivities at the camp.
These internally displaced persons are not allowing their situation to affect their Christmas celebration. Occupants of the Ichwa IDP camp, located at the North Bank axis of Makurdi, the Benue State capital, gather for the Christmas church service. They sing praises to God in the local dialect. They have been displaced for at least 6 years, and the message of the day is focused on giving them hope. They continue in praises and celebration to close the service.
I will sincerely appreciate the government and the NGOs who and individuals also. They used to come and give us a support, like food and clothes.
We want God to help him, and we are putting him in prayers so that when we enter this 2025, that God will help our great governor so that he will return back to our ancestral homes.
NGO support us here with rice and so many things, clothes. And if you can see this one, it's not my money that I used to buy this one. It's one of some NGOs used to dash us clothes, and you can see fine clothes. I'm very happy.
Back home, the displaced persons settled down to family time. Already, they have benefited from the state government's palliative. However, they have other concerns about the camp, including their sanitation.
All our toilets here are being filled up and they cannot evacuate it. So we are pleading to the government that they should come and evacuate all our toilets. If you can see, we are no longer using the toilet here so that we have access to the toilet because they are filled up.
Nevertheless, the displaced persons are hoping that the security situation improves to enable them return to their ancestral homes and their normal livelihood.
That's the program today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Melinda Akinlami.